It's a six-goal thriller, just not the six-goal thriller that Aberdeen would have wanted. Welcome back to Fog Football. Taxi for Thelin. I think it's safe to say that taxi must be sitting outside Pittodrie right now. This isn't going. I mean, I haven't even looked at the Aberdeen Twitter page, right? Don't worry, there'll be a reaction later on the night. That'll be the next video after this one. Obviously, I think St Johnstone took centre stage tonight. They are relegated after the 16-year stay, but Aberdeen look like a team that's relegated. They're so bad. They are. I honestly, I mean, this was a second string Celtic team. Before we even get into the game, right? Shall we talk about the Celtic starting 11? So let's get into it. Let me just get it up here. Right, so Sinisolo, Schlupp, Trusty, Naroki, Ralston, Forrest, McGregor, Bernardo, Yang, McCowan, Kenny. Obviously it's missing Carter Vickers, Schmeichel, Johnston, Maida's the big one, Nicholas Kuhn. I mean, if people want Big Adam up front over Kenny, then yep, you can fire that in there as well. You've got the £11 man, £11 million man, Arnie Engels. Greg Taylor as well not playing. It's definitely a team that's it's not Celtic's strongest. Put it that way. Aberdeen, they need to pick up a result. Hibs are taking on. I mean, they do need a wee favour from St Mirren, which they got because Hibs and St Mirren end at 2 each. So you would expect Aberdeen to maybe step up to task in this game. But guess what? They didn't step up to task as they conceded 5 goals at home. And it's not even a case of, well, they went down to 10 men. They went down to 10 men, it was 4-1. The writing was on the wall a long time ago. Just like an absolute collapse from Aberdeen, man. Now, I've only watched the highlights, folks. I'm not claiming to have watched the full game here. I mean, obviously, I watched Rangers Dundee United. But in terms of this, right, Naroki, he gets the header into the back of the net. Luke McCowan grabs himself a wee assist. Naroki, you know what? I think Naroki's almost used as a scapegoat. I don't think he gets enough chances at Celtic, to be honest. He is like the fourth/fifth choice centre back, but he doesn't really. Anytime he plays, right? Don't watch every game, right? But I don't. Every time I see Naroki, I don't think he's that bad. Being honest, honestly, I don't. I don't think he's that bad. But yeah, he makes it 1-0. I mean, after this, Aberdeen, they did step up a wee bit after this. I mean, I thought they got a little bit better. Some decent play down the left hand side for Papi Gay. He whipped it in to Kevin Nisbet. I mean, it's not the greatest defending from Celtic, but when you score 5, I mean, is anyone really going to critique this goal too hard? Probably not. But Nisbet puts in the back of the net to continue his good form. It's not his fault his team's conceding 5 up the other end, I guess. It looked offside, but when it showed you the replay, it was clearly on. And then you're thinking from an Aberdeen perspective, there was a lot of celebrating here because they needed something from this game. I mean, the chances are Hibs were always going to. I didn't really see St Mirren beating Hibs, even though there was a disallowed goal in that game, which could have made St Mirren pick up the 3 points. But Aberdeen have just got to do what they've got to do. But 2 games now against the Old Firm, they've lost 9-1 in aggregate, and in the last 2 matches. And when you look back at October, right, around about that period. Aberdeen looked more than a match for the Old Firm. They beat Rangers, right? Yeah, I know that's around the period when they got beat 6-0 by Celtic, and that was bad. But, around October, they came back from 2-0 down at Parkhead to draw 2 each, right? That game was incredible. I mean, they could have won it. Celtic could have won it, but it ended 2 each. Then they beat Rangers at Pittodrie. They whipped out the pyro, they whipped out whatever. But it's just like, the longer this goes on, Jimmy Thelin brings even more of his signings in January. And is there any improvement? It feels like they've just put money in the shredder. It really does. And this guy won't last, man. I'm convinced of it. I don't know what's happened at Aberdeen, but they need like another rebuild or something. Like they need to get rid of a lot of this squad. It's crazy. Like you look at Hearts, right? And I'm not saying Hearts don't need players because they do, but it feels like at Hearts, if you just get a decent manager, i.e. Derek McInnes, and you bring in a few players, it'll be all right. But with Jimmy Thelin in Aberdeen, it looks like a case that Aberdeen just need a whole host of new players, and not looking good for them, folks. Really, really not. But speaking of not looking good for them, Yang, he makes it 2-1. There's a bit of a goalmouth scramble. He puts it in here in the 45th. There was a nasty injury beforehand, stretchered off. But Yang, that's why there's so many minutes added on here. He gets some, what was it, like the 53rd minute in the first half, because it was that long added on. He makes it 2-1. Luke McCowan, he makes it 3-1. And then not long after this, Johnny Kenny makes it 4-1. I mean, at 3-1, I think the writing was on the wall. But I tell you what, Luke McCoy continuing his fine season, isn't he? 2 assists, 1 goal the night. And then we got the red card. So let's talk about the red card. Was this a red card for Alfie Dorrington? I mean, initially it looks like there's nothing in it, but see with these, right? See, once you slow it down and you see the contact, it's pretty much impossible when the referee goes to look at this that they're not going to send him off. Like, it was always going to happen. He gets sent off. I mean, honestly, the fact that Aberdeen only considered it like 1 goal after the 20 minutes after this is probably a good thing out of Adea. He makes it 5-1. I think the tackle was on him. And yeah, so the Celtic win 5-1 in the end. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Just a dire look for Aberdeen. The last couple of weeks, man, they've really dropped off. Well, let's be it. They've dropped off the boil since that 3-each game against Hibs. They've been absolutely atrocious. Since then, they're bottom of the league. Bottom of the league. That's rank rotten, and far too often for Aberdeen, you can take like half a season, and they're like the worst team in the league, and that should be unthinkable for a team of Aberdeen's stature. One of the biggest in the country, and yet season after season, there's like a period of like 15 games where they're the worst team in the league by a mile. That can't keep happening, man. It really can. Anyway, Celtic win. As for the Scottish Cup final, well, I mean, Aberdeen are going to win, aren't they? No, they're not going to win. Celtic will win that. I mean, the only constellation is I don't think Aberdeen can continue to play much worse, and it's a final, it's a cup final. They have to be up for it, folks. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, we'll be back soon with Aberdeen Fan Reacts. But until next time, peace.